Welcome back, everybody. It is finally the last week of October, and so that means that this is my last Halloween themed video for this year. I just wanted to quickly say thank you for everyone who has followed along with me this year for my spooky adventure. As you know, I like to do a bunch of different types of art on this channel, and I want to continue that, but for this week I'm going back to the photo manipulation because I did it for a contest. That contest was called Benny's Spooky Edit War. If you don't watch Benny, I would highly suggest it. He has some great content and was an inspiration for my channel. I'll leave a link in the description. So for this edit war, we had to use the images that he picked out and we had to create something of our own. We weren't allowed to add pictures, but we were allowed to paint in anything else we wanted. So right off the bat I created a few sketches and I picked one to go with. I didn't actually end up going with what I first had because I'm still doing this on my laptop and it doesn't have enough room for all of these big programs and big pictures and everything that I was using. So it was freezing up and I was just having a little bit of a difficult time. So once again I had to restart, which was kind of sad because I liked the way it looked. It had a whole cinematic feel that I already had going. I ended up then changing it to a square layout because I needed to post it on Instagram anyway. It just seemed like a better option. I still kept the original idea I had with the Headless Horseman's kind of hand coming up out of the ground, but for the most part the background was going to be rearranged. I began to cut out the forms once again, editing a lot of the details for better defined shapes. I also imported the hand that I made in my first edit, which took me a long time, as a placeholder for the second one. I then went on organizing and setting up the scene. Once all that was set up, I started creating the new hand. I'm glad I didn't choose to make more of a body or anything like that because the hand was hard enough for me. So the story behind this piece is that somehow the Headless Horseman was destroyed, and the next year on Halloween, he comes rising back out of the graves of the old abandoned cemetery, this time with a new host. The ruins gently lit by the moonlight in the distance could have been part of the original house the Horseman came from, while the newer house was abandoned due to the haunting of the Horseman. I adjusted the lighting with a cinematic filter. I hadn't used it before and I was really happy with the whole moonlight glow that it had given to the background. I then went on and added more glow and shadows in the scene to give it more depth. I then went on to create an eerie glow rising from the graves. I then went on to light more of the scene and focus the glow around the pumpkin. I then added some spirit trails coming off the gravestones in the graveyard. I really haven't focused too much on drawing hands before, and it took a long time. After a while though, it finally started to take shape. I then started working on the magical glow around the arm as it burst forth from the ground. Creating the misty glow around the pumpkin was a lot of fun, and it really came alive when I added the sparks and gave them a quick spin filter. At this point, I got carried away with all of the colors, and I lost a lot of the depth and texture I was looking for. I got carried away with a mist too. But in that whole process, I did find something interesting. To make it more rich and give it more depth, you could use a dual tone. I added a few more blur filters to increase the light distortion in the distance. Then I went back to the hand and added some fixes. But I also was thinking that it would look a little too slow and a little too clean. So I went back in with a smudge tool and added some ripped flesh to make it look like it burst out of the ground. Looking back now, I definitely overdid it. I probably shouldn't have made as many streaks as I did. After adding a few more quick details, I threw it into the camera raw filter and then it was done. I had a lot of fun creating this, mainly because I got to try a bunch of things that I hadn't been able to try before. I like how it turned out. I wish I had focused a bit more though on the foreground as much as I did on the background. If you're still wondering if I won the contest, no, I did not, but that's okay. I had a lot of fun doing it. If you want to see what other people did for this contest, you can check the links below. Thank you again for tuning in to the Return of the Horseman episode. Feel free to leave a comment. I always want to know what you think, and tell me how you think the Horseman died last Halloween. As always, leave a comment, haunt that like button, and I hope to see you on the next voyage.